So another thing I have to talk about is display out and desktop mode. Honor flagships are some of the only other phones to offer a desktop mode on Android and just in general, and it's actually pretty decent. So right now, connected to the external screen, it's just normal screencasting, which is pretty cool. If you tap the dynamic island, you can go to settings, and then you can choose between mirroring or desktop mode. And then you can also set it to mute notifications on the external screen as well. So let's do desktop mode and switch over. So the cool thing about desktop mode on the Honor device is that you can use the phone screen as a trackpad. I'm moving the mouse cursor around with the phone screen as a touchpad, and it does have gestures, so you can swipe with 2 fingers as well. So let me just go into an app. So boom, this is basically the full Google Chrome on a mobile device, and you can actually work off of this. If you get an external keyboard and a mouse, it's really nice. Or if you get a laptop device which combines all those things with a built-in battery, so you can work on the go from like an Honor phone or a Samsung phone, you can have a great experience. You can check out this video at the top right, and I will link it in the description as well, where I review the UPerfect U-Dock. It's one of the more premium laptop devices on the market right now, and I had a great experience with it using it with my Samsung phones. So check that out. But yeah, this is basically a full desktop experience with your Honor device. And you can resize them. You can right click apps on your taskbar and pin it there. It's good for file management and just all your basic things that you would do in a desktop environment. It's not as fleshed out or smooth as Samsung DeX. There are a couple features missing here, but for the most part, it's actually pretty good and very usable. Like for example, look at this. This is LumaFusion, a video editing app, and you can video edit on an external screen with your Honor Magic, and it will be decently smooth, to be honest, because it is rocking the new Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 chip. Video editing in LumaFusion is not the most smooth experience because of the app itself with a bunch of bugs that it has, but for the most part, you can actually get through videos decently well and have a pretty good experience with this flagship phone. External screen support with the desktop environment is actually really nice, and you know, underrated I think by a lot of people. People think like, why would you do this on a phone? But it's nice to have all your files in one place in the device that you carry everywhere you go with you. And then it's also nice for media consumption, so you can watch videos. You can also play games with your controllers. You know, it's a really nice experience being able to have a full desktop mode on your phone, more than people might realize. Some apps are not optimized well. Like the YouTube app is not that good for desktop mode on these devices, but if you go to YouTube, so you can actually pull up the keyboard on your phone and still use the trackpad, which is nice. If you go to YouTube in the browser, if you're using Chrome, it's going to push you to the app, but you can also disable that in settings and then go to YouTube and enter desktop mode or desktop view, and boom. This is basically like using YouTube on a computer. Like this is the exact interface that you would have on a computer. You're doing this straight from your phone. I think that's really sick, to be honest. And you even have like things like using your cursor to go over an icon and then it activates. Like things like that work on websites, and you can even use web apps like the Microsoft Suite, the Google Suite. You can use those web apps in the browser on this phone in this desktop mode. So that's pretty sick. Some of the other things you can do in desktop mode on this phone, you can screenshot it right here, press that button, boom, takes a screenshot of your desktop. That's really nice. And then you can also draw. So this is a laser pointer, pretty cool for presenting stuff if you're gonna use your phone like that. This is one of the better phones to do something like that with. And then you can also draw it exactly as well. So that is pretty sick. You can literally give a little presentation. And if you have a stylus like this is a capacitive stylus. This actually works really nice, and you have a little more precision. So cool. It's cool for presentations. You can erase everything and use a different color. So let's just highlight this right here. Talking about Stardew Valley, but you want to transition from songs to work on, you can do that. You know, that's a little example of how you can present with the Honor phone. And it's a desktop mode, right? So you can actually like close this app and do something else if you want to. And this is just all with the touchscreen. You can use a keyboard and mouse for a better experience. And you can also screen record too for your session, and I think that's pretty cool. Let's just screen record a little bit. And yeah, I'm in desktop mode, messing around. Exit that for now. Let's exit this, and let's change the wallpaper here. So double fingers, change wallpaper. Let's change it to Spider-Verse. Wait, not this one. Let's change it to this. Boom, there you go. Wallpaper applied. That's really sick. And at the bottom right, you do have some quick toggles, just like in Windows. So if you tap this, you have your notifications, and then you also have quick toggles right here. You can adjust your volume, exit desktop mode, and change your sound mode, your Bluetooth, all that stuff. If I tap and hold this, tap and hold, it will open up the Bluetooth menu, which is really cool for that quick usage. And then you have your battery life, Wi-Fi, sound, all that stuff. And then you can press this to open up a quick note as well. And then going back down here, you have the time. You press the time to open up the calendar. And then you also have your Android button controls if you ever need to access that, or like you need to go back like you would on your phone, you could do that there. So yeah, overall, very functional desktop mode. And I think a lot of people, if they took time to try and use it, they could have a good time with it. Another cool thing while you're in desktop mode is that you can actually use your phone like normal. So essentially you have two screens with this setup. Even though this screen is kind of small, it still works pretty decently. And like you can watch videos, you can play a game, you can respond to messages, all that stuff. Multitask even while you're connected to an external screen with your built-in screen. So yeah, that's desktop mode on the Honor Magic 8 Pro.